Hello and welcome to IndianMoney.com's YouTube channel. My name is Fayaz. The budget 2021 is out now and people have already started making memes about it. Some people have pretty much understood it and others are still a little clueless about what exactly is happening. So in this video, we'll try and cover the highlights, the things that will majorly impact you and me and how we can deal with it. Let's understand that. So without further ado, let's get to the point. Let me tell you a brief key points about this particular budget. First of all, it's the 9th budget that's been issued by the current government and it's the 3rd budget that has been issued by the Nirmala Sitaraman, our current finance minister, and this is for the first time this has happened that the budget has not been issued in the form of paper. It's issued in the form of digital, which means via a tablet. To understand the significance of keeping social distancing and stuff, government has now taken this particular initiative to the next level, and she has used a tablet, a digital platform via which she was making the announcements of the budget. So major takeaways over here is that people who are more than 75 years of age, they no longer have to file their income tax return. They're no longer basically, it's not mandatory for them to file their income taxes. They can file it if they want to, but it's not mandatory. And also in case of the fuel like petrol and diesel, there is a new cess that has been introduced, which is known as the farm cess, that is FARM, farm. However, it will not impact the prices because the existing cess has been reduced a bit, and this particular new cess of 2% has been introduced, so that it will somewhere down the line be the same that was earlier, the cess percentage. And now let's understand the key takeaways of this particular budget. The number one takeaway over here is that the Atmanirbhar Bharat, the idea of basically making the country independent in terms of its infrastructure, in terms of its value addition, startups, etc., etc. The government is planning to spend around 21.7 lakh crore rupees worth of money for building this entire infrastructure of building the right kind of manufacturing facilities, the right kind of ecosystem for the startups, etc., etc. And also for the health, the government is spending a huge amount of money. The government is planning to spend around 64,180 crore rupees worth of money for the entire idea of Atmanirbhar health program, because I think pretty much the government has understood the significance of having good health and good health infrastructure, because we all have seen what the situation was when the COVID was on its prime. There were not a lot of ICU beds in our country, and probably that's why the government is also planning to spend a lot more money in health and infrastructure in the coming years. And the next point over here is that the government is also like very much serious about the entire idea of vaccinations. So Nirmala Sitaraman has mentioned in her speech also that government currently has 2 vaccinations. Our country has currently 2 types of vaccines, which are Covaxin and Covishield, and 2 more are underway, and very soon they will also be implemented, and the government will try very much to ensure that these particular vaccines are accessible to each and every poor citizen of the country also. And that's the reason why government will be spending a little amount of money in that aspect as well. And the government is planning to spend around 35,000 crore rupees worth of money for the entire idea of making the vaccines more and more accessible, so that the youth, the elderly, the frontline workers, etc., everyone is able to get at least 1 dose of this particular vaccine. Talking about the pipelines of our country in terms of the gas pipelines, which are brought to you by GAIL and Indian Oil Corporation and HPCL, they will also be monetized in the coming years, and also the government will try to make some money out of it, because indeed that will be helpful for the country to generate revenue in order to meet our country's expenses, and also in order to utilize these particular funds for the development and the welfare of the country and the countrymen. One more interesting announcement that has been made by the government of India is that they are going to implement this particular policy called the vehicle scrapping policy. The entire problem of traffic is now pretty much common across the nation, and to understand this particular thing much more better, much more deeper, and to try and get this particular thing sorted, the government has introduced this new policy according to which people who have a whiteboard car, a personal used car which has been with them for more than 15 years, they'll have to now get the vehicle emission test done for that. And if at all the test is not good as per the required yardsticks, then definitely they will have to get rid of this particular vehicle. And also for people who are, this will for the private vehicles it will be 20 years, and the same kind of test will be done also for commercial vehicles, which means that they will have to check whether that particular vehicle is more than 15 years old, and if at all it's 15 years old or more than that, then they will have to get rid of that particular vehicle also, and that those kind of vehicles will not be allowed to drive on the main roads. Now, let's come to the next point, which will basically talk about the capital infrastructure of the country. So the country currently in this particular budget, she has proposed a capital infrastructure expense of around 5.5 lakh crore rupees worth of money. So this same thing for this same kind of expense earlier, last year, it was around 4.12 lakh crore rupees. But this year they have certainly understood that the more better our infrastructure is, the more better the country will be able to develop. And eventually that's why Nirmala Sitaraman has introduced this particular aspect aspect also in her recent budget. The government has also made special attempts to ensure that the public transportation, especially in the urban areas of our country, gets much more better, and that's the reason why the government is planning to spend around 18,000 crore rupees worth of money for the development of that. And also by the year of December 2023, the government is planning to electrify the entire process of railway, and especially the railway gauge will be electrified before December 2023 according to the recent budget that has been mentioned. And also a huge amount of money will be spent for the development of railways in our country overall, and around 1,10,000 crore rupees worth of money will be spent for the development of railway, out of which capital expenditure will be around 1,07,100 crore rupees. So government is definitely planning huge to develop the entire network of world's biggest railway, which is Indian Railways network. And the idea is to improve the communication and improve the connectivity from different parts of the country, and so that the people who are even using railway for not their travel purposes or maybe for their commercial purposes, people who are probably using railway to transport their goods and services from one place to another, they will also be able to have a better network advantage, and eventually the business will improve and the overall communication of our country's business infrastructure will be much more better. The 10th highlight of this particular video would be that the Ujjwala scheme, which you might have heard about, basically the scheme which was introduced in order to give more subsidy to people who want to use LPG, will now be furthermore extended to 1 more year. Basically, it was earlier supposed to end this year, but because the response has been phenomenal to it, the government is planning to increase it a little bit more further, and it will be basically extended for 1 more year, and the government is planning to reach at least 100 more new districts with this entire extension. And last but definitely not the least, the government is also planning to spend around 1,500 crore rupees worth of money for the development of the digital payment infrastructure in our country. All of us have understood the fact that digital India is the new India, and in order to do our payments well, the government also understood the significance that it has to be much more safer, much more better, and much more efficient. And maybe that's the reason why the government is also planning to spend some amount of money for the development of this infrastructure also, because eventually in future, as we all can observe already, the cash usage has been dropped significantly, and that's the reason why the digital will be taking over. And it's important that the digital infrastructure is compact, it's highly efficient, and that's how we'll be able to do our digital transactions efficiently. So these were the major highlights of the budget 2021. I'm sure I might have missed out some points because this particular thing is a developing story. So if at all there is anything that I have missed out, please do let us know in the comment section, because our community should not miss out on any particular these kind of updates. And if at all you like this video, if at all you found this video informative, please do share it with your friends and family as well. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon too, so that you never miss an update from IndianMoney.com. And also, if you want to learn more about personal finance, career building, business and farming, you can download the Financial Freedom app. There we have made more than 55 plus courses which are available in 6 different languages, which will teach you about all these aspects in a much more lucid manner. Until next time, my name is Fayaz and you're watching IndianMoney.com.